Hi, this is Chip.
And Christiana.
The last time we spoke with you, we were doing that from Madeira, and that was in May. And since then, we've been bouncing around quite a bit.
Today it's August, and one would never guess that from how one has to bundle up and try to stay warm. We are currently in England.
Yes, in lovely Hyde Park. So in the interim between when we left Madeira and when we arrived here in England, we have been to the U.S. for about a month in June and July, and we're able to see our family and friends for the first time in
a year and a half.
We
had 2 prior trips canceled due to the pandemic, so it was really, really, really good to finally get home and see our loved ones.
Yeah, we got to see lots of friends, and then we went up to Mount Hood with our 2 sons and our 2 beloved
daughters in love.
daughters in love, yes. And so that was fun, and just got a chance to enjoy the unique beauty that is the Pacific Northwest. We also did go visit our eldest son where he works. He was back in Oregon a couple of times while we were there, but we also went out and visited him in Montana and got to see some other cousins, and that was great, and also enjoy the pleasures of Billings, Montana and points around there.
Including Red Lodge, which was a beautiful little town, probably an hour outside of Billings, where we did a little hike and walked around the downtown and found a yummy vegan restaurant. It was very sweet.
From there, after about a month, 5 weeks in the U.S., we flew to Amsterdam and spent a week there. And it really is an incredible city. They figured out how to do public transportation very well, which is great. Makes it very easy to be in Amsterdam or some of these other cities without a car. In fact, it's much preferable to not have a car.
We also had a delicious home-cooked meal from our friend Taylor and her new fiancée, Andrea. It was lovely spending time with you two, and congratulations.
Yeah, while in Amsterdam, we did get to spend some time at some of the museums. It's got some world-renowned museums, including the Rijksmuseum.
And the Van Gogh Museum. They're all really close to each other, the major museums.
Also did walk around a little bit to some of the other interesting areas of Amsterdam, including the red light district. Amsterdam is unique in the fact that it does allow legalized prostitution and sort of semi-legalized marijuana, and they've got public urinals right along the river, that sort of outdoor urinals. Also has some amazing parks, and we did go visit a couple of them. It was, I think, the Ooster Park, which is in the eastern part of the city, and another, the name escapes me, which I will put the name on in the post-production process. And of course, it's also world known for the canals, and so we did take a tour of the canals.
Also, Amsterdam is a vegan forward, so we had no trouble at all finding yummy restaurants in which to eat, including a vegan sushi restaurant. It was called, I think, Vegan Sushi, and it was absolutely delicious.
So after spending a week in Amsterdam, we headed on to Dublin, where we spent the last 5 weeks or so.
We loved Ireland. Loved it. Loved Amsterdam and loved Ireland.
While we were in Dublin, we did take a couple of side trips, one to Dingle Peninsula and one to the city of Galway, which we'll have a video on that subsequent to this one. We're trying to cram quite a bit of our last 2 months into this video. I'm a big fan of public transportation, and Dublin does that up well. Dublin is known for, among other things, Grafton Street, which is this, 500-yard long pedestrian shopping area, which I think became pedestrian in the 1980s. While we were there, we did get to see Allie Sherlock, who's you talk about Allie Sherlock.
Well, she's a 16-year-old street performer who I discovered on YouTube. I'm not even sure how, and I literally didn't even know where she was in Europe. I knew she was performing somewhere on the streets in Europe, but I was shocked when we found out that she was actually in Dublin and on Grafton Street. So we happened upon her one day. As soon as we stepped onto the street, we heard one note and we thought, that's her. Her voice is just absolutely gorgeous.
Only want to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Only want to see you bathing in the purple rain.
We also did visit a couple of the parks in Dublin, Stephen's Green Park, which is right in the heart of the city. Here we are in Stephen's Green Park, really in the heart of Dublin, very near Grafton Street. And it was founded in 1664, so it's been around for a while. It sort of has a kind of a bit of a Central Park vibe. Very lovely on a Sunday early afternoon. It's probably going to be about 80 degrees in Dublin today, which is very warm. We're told over and over again, but it's been unseasonably warm this summer. But I think the rains are coming back tomorrow, so onward we go.
Stephen's Green is a beautiful park, and we were sitting there having our picnic lunch. There was a critter behind me eyeing my sandwich just as I got a bite, and the seagull swooped in behind me, flapping his wings in my hair, and grabbed my sandwich and flew away with it.
In moments before, I'd been saying how nicely mannered the seagulls were relative to the pigeons, because the pigeons are always kind of at you, begging, and the seagull was back behind us. He was plotting.
He was plotting.
And then Phoenix Park, which is sort of to the west of downtown, and a huge park. It's like, I think it's one of the biggest parks in an urban area in Europe. Among other things, it's got the U.S. ambassador's residence and the President of Ireland's residence. We also went to Trinity College and the library, which is ancient, cool, and has something like 200,000 old books in it. Also holds the Book of Kells, which is a 1,200-year-old manuscript of
Gospels, I think it's the Gospels?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And then there's also a beautiful harp, the Brian's harp, which is gorgeous.
Brian Boru,
which is ancient and beloved.
We also took a train down to Greystones once, and it was probably a 65-degree day or so, and yet there were hardy Irish people in the water swimming in
the Atlantic Ocean.
And it couldn't have been any warmer in the ocean than it was in the air, but they were bound and determined. It was August and they were going to go swimming in the ocean. So we are here in England, in London specifically, through the end of October. We've got to admit that it's nice to be in countries that they speak a version of English that we can largely understand. Yeah, so we're here and we'll be here for another couple of months, and after that we'll see. We'll be back with a video about Galway and Dingle Peninsula here hopefully in the next month or so.
All right, take care. Thanks for watching. We'll be seeing you soon. Bye.
See ya.